This whole situation, every single day, like, develops, gets worse, more stories break. So this channel has just literally become me reporting on all these events that are ever changing in the world of pro wrestling, and that's a microcosm of greater society and how everything is just being cancelled, closed, adjusted, adopted, changed. Everything is being changed so that now nothing's the same as it was 3 weeks ago. Case in point, WrestleMania 36. Okay, WrestleMania 36 is now going to be taped. I'll repeat that. WrestleMania 36, both nights, 1 and 2, are going to be taped on Wednesday, March 25th and Thursday, March 26th. Oh, this can't be happening. Genuinely, 3 weeks ago, I was having to think about this earlier. 3 weeks ago, my biggest annoyance with WrestleMania was the fact that the road to WrestleMania and the booking and having Saudi Showdown and Elimination Chamber within 10 days of each other, that was my biggest issue with the road to WrestleMania. And in turn, how a bunch of the matches had no story. That was my biggest concern 2.5 to 3 weeks ago. Now, let's look at the case at hand. They are taping WrestleMania. Yes, taping WrestleMania. I can't comprehend that myself. They're taping both nights of WrestleMania because WrestleMania is too big for one night. Apparently, that's BS. But apparently, WrestleMania is too big for one night. So we're getting a 2-night taped WrestleMania hosted by Rob Gronkowski, former New England Patriots tight end, a guy who is a complete clown. Him and Mojo Rawley are just goons. So we're having a 2-night taped WrestleMania hosted by Mojo Rawley with matches that include Baron Corbin versus Elias, a 6-pack SmackDown Women's title match that includes Dana Brooke and Tamina Snuka. Tamina, who hasn't had a singles match since 2017. Dana Brooke, who I don't think she's won a singles match since, I don't even remember. So those matches have been added to the show. We're probably going to have a women's tag title match. We're going to have all of these matches that no one wants to see. And let's remember, they're in front of nobody because of this virus and this outbreak. So literally, I don't want to watch Baron Corbin versus Elias live on any show, let alone taped on a WrestleMania. Just this whole thing, as I said, day in, day out, it's ever changing with what they're doing with this show. So pretty much this, as of right now, is the taping schedule for WWE from like right now through Thursday night. So on Saturday, March 21st, they're doing Friday Night SmackDown for March 27th and April 3rd. And then from there, on Sunday, they're taping future episodes of NXT. Monday, March 23rd, and Tuesday, March 24th, they're taping the Raw episodes for the 23rd and the 30th of March. And then, as I mentioned, WrestleMania 36, WrestleMania, the same event that's made WWE all of their revenue over the years. The event, their hallmark of every year, WrestleMania, the grandest stage of them all, the showcase of the Immortals, the show that, in the past decade and a bit, it's drawn 80,000 fans per year. At WrestleMania 32, they drew, quote-unquote, 100,000 fans when it was like 85,000. Like, this event that has the giant crowds, the live spectacle, the giant stage, is now taped with Rob Gronkowski as host in the Performance Center with no crowd over 2 days. It's just going to be a disaster. And, look, here is my honest opinion about 2 days of WrestleMania in front of no one under those circumstances. In a way, I'm dreading watching it because it's going to be excruciating to sit through. And here's the thing. This is the other thing I didn't even mention. Because of these spoilers that are inevitably going to come out, inevitably we're going to have Dave Meltzer, Brian Alvarez, all those guys at Wrestling Observer Radio. They're probably going to spoil WrestleMania 36 each night. Because that's just how this internet, in this day and age, the internet works. And if it's not Alvarez and Meltzer, it's going to be some goon, some cretin, some clown is going to literally spoil both nights. So you're watching WrestleMania 36 where you literally know exactly what's happened because reports have already come out about what's happened. This can't be happening. This is honestly unbelievable. What? Like, when I found out that WrestleMania is taped on top of all these circumstances with Gronk and no crowd and, the cards they're going to do, it's just awful. This is where we're at. And it's just, I don't even know. So, I mean, that's that part of the video. Moving on to, it's still WrestleMania 36, but this poster, are you kidding me, WWE? This is your WrestleMania poster, your landscape version of the poster. Are you joking? There's just so much wrong with this, and it goes yet again with WrestleMania 36. Everything about this show is just wrong. No crowd. Gronk as host. Why Gronk? Why Gronk? No crowd. Again, just 2 nights. Like, what? The card itself. Reigns main eventing. Baron Corbin Elias. Tamina and Dana Brooke being in a championship match. The women's tag titles being defended at WrestleMania. Rhea Ripley, Charlotte having no story. A bunch of these matches having no story. So, all of these factors, and then you look at the poster. Rob Gronkowski is front and center in front of everyone on the poster of WrestleMania. Okay, let's discuss this for a second. When The Rock was the host of WrestleMania 27, he was front center on the poster. You want to know why? Because that is Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Some minority, not a majority, but a bunch of people view him as the greatest of all time as far as WWE or WWF. Because of the entertainment value of The Rock, everything he did during wrestling is like golden era, and how entertaining it was, his timing, his humor, but once again, entertainment value. So The Rock on the poster, given everything's done in Hollywood and the company, that's all cool. Him being front center on the WrestleMania 27 poster, great. But you're putting Rob Gronkowski in front of anyone else in this company. Do you know how pathetic that looks for me and everyone as fans? That no WWE superstar in 2020, man or woman, are in front of Rob Gronkowski on this poster. Why is Gronk even on this poster? That's the better question. I don't care if he's the host. Why is he front and center? In the company where, look, at the moment, let's look at who should be on the poster. This is my alternative, okay? Brock Lesnar, yes. Drew McIntyre, yes. The Fiend, yes. Who else? Randy Orton, definitely. Edge definitely should be. And then, I guess if you want to put Reigns there, fine. Or Cena. But that's it. Becky Lynch has no momentum whatsoever. She is as cold as you can get. People can't wait for the title to get off her so that we can go to Shayna Baszler as champion and we can get something different. People are just waiting for the title to get off Becky Lynch. Okay, so that's Becky Lynch. She shouldn't be on the poster at all. I've just been through Gronk. Why is Gronk on the poster? And why is he in front of everyone else? And more importantly, and the thing that pisses me off out of anything, why is Randy Orton and Edge not on this poster? Those two men, and the work they've done in the last 2 months, they're the only reason I care at all about WrestleMania. Oh, sorry, not the only reason. Drew McIntyre winning the world title is. But outside of Drew having his moment in front of no one on a taped show, God, I feel bad for him in that situation, but outside of Randy Orton and Edge, there has been no other reason to care about this WrestleMania build. None. The Saudi Showdown burial of the Fiend, these shows going in front of no one, the uncreativity in the storylines, lack of storylines, everything to do with the Elimination Chamber, dead pay-per-view, the Rumble, it was outside of Drew winning, it was just a mess of a pay-per-view. Just all of this stuff. The WWE have done themselves no favours here, and Randy Orton and Edge have been the shining light in this steaming turd that's been the road to WrestleMania. Genuinely, when Edge came out of the Rumble, it was probably the most I've marked out as a wrestling fan in years. The most excited I've been to be, watching pro wrestling. When Edge cut his promo the night after, and then Randy Orton took him out and assaulted him. And then those segments we got where Randy Orton, Edge, Matt Hardy, they had the stuff with Beth Phoenix. That segment was awesome. All this stuff Randy Orton's done, it's been epic. Edge getting his revenge on MVP. Edge's really heartfelt, passionate promo in the Performance Center on Raw last week. All of this stuff, it was great. But then on the poster, but Becky Lynch, the man, she's on the poster for doing what? Because she's still the face of the company? In what aspect? No one is watching Raw for Becky Lynch. At this point in 2020, no one's watching Raw for anyone. They're just watching Raw because it's out of habit. That is why people watch Monday Night Raw. No one is moving the needle in this company. Brock moved the needle up until like 2015, and then people just saw Brock for what he was. A guy who would win the title and would not be on TV ever. So the Brock appeal's gone. Reigns, people are so done with him, and he's going to win the title inevitably from Goldberg. That's a guarantee. So Reigns, no one could care less. If you had him as like be a Batista type of heel and babyface, where you flip the role and he's a super cool babyface, super cool heel, like a really hateable, monstrous heel, people would like him. But instead, we've had 5-6 years of just this, nauseating, shoving down your throats, where he's not relatable to the fans. He's not cool. Nothing he does is engaging, and he's so politically forced. So Reigns, we're done with. Cena, he's been on the show twice, 3 times in a year and a half. Okay, granted, Cena's the best, the biggest star they've had in 15 years because they've pushed him to be that. But he's drawn, made millions of people turn off the show. As much as I love Cena at the moment, I think he's so much better and more entertaining than anyone else in the show. But the fact of the matter is, he's driven away millions of viewers with the nauseating pulverization of the Cena push. So Cena's on the poster when he's been on the show literally 3 times in the past year and a half. And then you've got Drew McIntyre, who deserves to be there. So outside of McIntyre and Brock, no one really deserves to be on this poster that's on it. Randy Orton and Edge should be on it, but they're just not, because this poster, if they were being honest, would be Randy Orton and Edge front and center, McIntyre and Brock would be right behind them, and then you'd have Cena and Fiend behind them, and that'd be a poster. Becky Lynch would be nowhere near it, neither would Gronk, because Gronk as the host is just a joke. After seeing his entrance on SmackDown, where he was looking like an 8-year-old on the biggest sugar high you can imagine, dancing as soon as he came out, he goes down the aisleway, then gets on the steel steps, and is literally grinding, humping the ring post. What was that? He gets in the ring, he's literally, slapping Mojo Rawley, they're great friends, they're all, hype. It's just cringe. So, Gronk's on the poster. That's just pathetic as it is. And then moving on to this last item of business, these WrestleMania 36 t-shirts are actually pretty funny. I've got to say, I wasn't there for WrestleMania. That's jokes. I actually respect that greatly. I wasn't there. WrestleMania 36. That's going to be a great item to have. So if you feel like purchasing one of them, or a bunch of them, and hoarding them, and then selling them off in a few years' time, you'd make bank. Because I'm assuming WrestleMania 37 will have 100,000 or 80,000 people in the stadium. I'm assuming this whole social distancing and this no big events won't hold on for another year. If it does, God forbid, because that would be absolutely just the worst possible situation. Hopefully this whole distancing thing goes a maximum of 3 months, and then you can move on to life as normal. When this whole virus thing goes through, people become immune to it. With the cases, everyone's had it once, and then we can move on. Because, God, I don't want to sit through WrestleMania 37 in front of no one. Because, that draws us back to what this video is all about. WrestleMania 36 being taped on Wednesday and Thursday in the WWE Performance Center in front of no one. Now, furthering on with this story, I saw someone on Twitter try and look at the bright side of this whole situation and say that, well, but because it's produced, that they have so much time to make it the best produced WrestleMania of all time. Okay. It could be the greatest production of an empty arena WrestleMania that you'd ever see. They could produce this thing to be incredible aesthetically, as far as graphics and what they cut to and all these different aspects. But at the end of the day, there's no one in the arena because of this virus. Therefore, there's going to be no investment in night 1. There's going to be no investment in night 2. There's going to be no investment altogether. There's no investment with Gronk as host. There's no investment with Michael Cole as on commentary. There's no investment in the matches. So that's what you're going to get. A WrestleMania with no reason to care because there's no fans for 2 nights, and it's going to be an absolute just travesty seeing Drew McIntyre, Edge, maybe Angel Garza, and all these people have their moments, but no one's going to be there. So, that's the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, and sub. This WrestleMania 36 whole thing, it's gone worse and worse and worse. After the Royal Rumble, I thought, you know what, this could be a great WrestleMania. If you have Cena versus The Fiend for the Universal Championship, you can do Goldberg Reigns, non-title, Spear versus Spear as like a fantasy matchup. You can do Drew McIntyre beating Brock for the world title in front of 80,000 people. Edge versus Randy Orton. Edge gets his big win, his big moment. Angel Garza wins the US title in the Fatal 4-Way Latino match. You have a bunch of these other fun matches, like a tag team title ladder match. All of this. Shayna Baszler just destroys Becky Lynch. Rhea Ripley. I wouldn't even have Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, but anyway, you do all this stuff, and it's the greatest WrestleMania. Wouldn't say greatest WrestleMania ever, but it's like a great WrestleMania. But then the build for Saudi Showdown happened. I lost interest week after week. Raw and SmackDown sucked. We get to Saudi Showdown, just a garbage show, capped off by Goldberg annihilating The Fiend and ruining any momentum he had, taking the Universal Championship. We get literally 9 days of build before Elimination Chamber, which was a good show, but it was redundant. And then we get all this like outbreak crap, this pandemic that's completely shut the world off. We get Raw shows, SmackDown shows in front of no one. Gronk being announced as host. The card gets worse. WrestleMania is going to be taking place in front of no one. It's going to be taped. It's going to be awful. So, yeah, I'm getting out of here. Like, comment, sub. See ya.